Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Christian Humanist. I'm Damien. The topic for today is why the Chosen represents everything wrong with Christianity today. The Chosen is, kind of everywhere really in the Christian world. When you're looking at Christian media, certainly from an entertainment standpoint, when you wonder what's happening in the Christian, I wouldn't say pop cultural space. First of all, there isn't one. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Popular culture. Again, speaking of the Anglo-American world, but I guess the Western world more broadly, the free world, right? The West. Okay, you guys know what I mean, right? Especially in opposition to non-Western countries like Russia, which by the way is more Christian these days than many Western countries. But that's a different subject matter. But critically here, the idea of having a presence in culture, okay, from the standpoint of entertainment, from the standpoint of the popular discourse, one could even say having some kind of a effect on the broader zeitgeist of our era. Okay, Christianity really does not have much of a presence. Okay, and this is something I've spoken about already. Just that Christianity doesn't really have that presence. Okay, and admittedly, efforts like the Chosen, the people behind it, trying to have this entertainment, media, movie, TV, whatever you want to call it, sort of thing going on, is viewed as a positive. It's viewed as a step in the right direction. And although the whole show, okay, the story of Jesus, okay, the gospel narrative plus, okay, it's like it's like in video games we have new game plus, right? This is the gospels, but a lot of other materials as well, which have been pulled out of somewhere. And this is something I've already spoken about in my other video, in case you haven't watched it. This is basically part 2 of that video, which is why the Chosen is overrated. Okay, here I'm taking it a step further and to get into the issue of why the Chosen in many ways embodies and in many ways exemplifies what's wrong with Christianity today. Okay. To start off, I just watched a clip, okay, of the production of The Chosen. Right, they're shooting some scene in open air environment, and there's a storm coming. Okay, a real storm, right? A sandstorm, whatever. And all the people in the production crew and the actors are basically running for cover. Okay, they can't do what they're supposed to, do what they want to. Okay, and there's a funny moment where one of the producers or somebody, right, walks up to Jesus, or the guy playing Jesus obviously, and asks him if he could calm the storm, put everything right so they can get back to work. And the guy playing Jesus says, well, I only do it once, so I'm supposed to only calm the storm once, or on one occasion, or something like that, or some interesting sounding answer. But it's it is what it is, right? He's just a human being. Okay, and for me that was kind of that kind of represents what we are dealing with here, right? Here we have a show about Jesus and his life and the apostles and so on. But in the modern world, in the modern day, okay, Jesus, okay, as a real person, okay, first of all, he's not there. Okay, he's not a real being anymore. Okay, there isn't a person in Judea or anywhere else who's 33 and with black long hair, going around preaching and performing miracles and doing wonderful things. Okay, that person does not exist. Okay, now the Christian doctrine that Christ ascended in heaven, and we know the whole story, right? Well, at least what's being told. But the issue is for us, okay, in respect to the Chosen, it sends out the wrong message. Okay, that's my concern here. Okay, sure, we're talking about Jesus, we're talking about God, we're talking about the good news of Jesus Christ, the good news of Christianity, the message of hope, the hope of deliverance, the uplifting character of the Christian message. Fine, no one is disputing that. But okay, in reality, okay, what does it amount to? What does it mean? What does it add up to with respect to our own lives, our challenges, the obstacles that we have to overcome? Okay, the storm, I think, is symbolic of that. Okay, you plan something and then something happens which is pretty much totally out of your control, and you are left to deal with it. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, can we rely on God or Jesus to address that problem? Are you guys with me here? Now, going back to that example from The Chosen, I'll encourage you all to, I'll put up a small picture here. You guys can, have a look. Basically, there's a storm, and it disrupts their efforts, and they have pretty much had to pack up and come another day or go somewhere else. That is life, isn't it? Okay, in life, a lot of things happen. Okay, I'm not just talking about the dramatic things. I'm not talking about the extreme scenarios. Just life. It's like you do something, you're expecting a certain outcome, and the outcome does not transpire. Okay, so you got to take action. You got to learn. You got to apply. You got to iterate. Okay, It's like, another example would be like venture capital. Okay, this might be a bigger example, but the whole venture capital industry is predicated on the idea of being able to start, test the waters, fail, learn, grow, try again, fail again, learn, emerge stronger, and then you're able to proceed. Okay, in many ways, failure is a prerequisite. Okay, the idea of failing and rising from the ashes, so to speak, is viewed as a positive. That is life. Okay, so I'm using that example, which is from the corporate world, but it's true for many things in life. It's like, think of a personal example. It's like me learning to swim. Okay, for a long time I couldn't swim. I remember when I was in, I don't know, fourth grade. I think I was like 9, and I couldn't. Right, the guys in my class could do it. They caught on pretty quickly. Almost everyone, I think. I think I was like one of the few people who couldn't, and it took me a long time to learn how to swim. I remember when I was in my late teens. Okay, I remember being in the pool. I was like thinking, it's not gonna happen. I was thinking I would not be able to swim properly. Like just go from one end to the other and then dive a little bit and then be able to do that. I just it didn't seem like it would happen. Then it did. Okay, I persisted. I pushed. I tried hard. Okay, I didn't give up. The usual. Okay, the stoic. Okay, principle of perseverance, of endurance, okay, of being relentless, okay, of never giving up. Now, why am I saying that? Okay, in the sense that when you look at life from that perspective, okay, it compels you to reevaluate what you think about God and his goodness. Now, again, you and I don't know how God works, and I'm not here to say I do know. I'm not here to say that God doesn't work miraculous things, magical things, great things, like my previous video on the question about miracles and healing. Okay, I'm not here to dispute those claims, but there is a deeper question when it comes to how life is lived, how we order our lives. Okay, can you and I, go through life expecting miraculous healings? Okay, and be to order our lives in accordance to it. So you guys with me, right? That means something bad goes wrong, something bad happens, something terrible happens. Okay, something dramatic. Okay, and that compels you to take certain decisions. But can you order your life thinking, oh yeah, it'll happen, but then I'll have the healing, I'll have the cure, I'll have the resolution, okay, given to me by a divine being? And can I have that assurance? The safe answer, the principal response is yes. Okay, but it is not systematic, and I cannot order our lives in accordance to it. Okay, again, going back to The Chosen, what do you get in The Chosen? And this is one of the problems I mentioned in my video, why The Chosen is overrated. Bringing outside content, okay, information that's not mentioned in scripture. Jesus Christ healing someone. Was it one of the guys who beat up the good Samaritan? Or the good Samaritan helps someone. The guys who beat up the guy who got thugs or the thieves. Okay, Christ visits them and he heals that person. Guys, the point is this. Okay, what are we supposed to take from this? Okay, are we supposed to believe that Christ can heal people of their ailments, like serious issues, like like brain tumors and torn muscle, or some chronic ailment, okay, like diabetes? Can you expect Christ to heal? I'll give you an example, right? This might be a bit funny, but I'll just put this out there, okay? There's a very popular preacher I know, okay? He's very popular and he commands a large following, right? And routinely in his services, okay, and this guy is officially Catholic, but he has a very charismatic, preachy kind of thing, right? Just praise and worship, really borrowing a lot of ideas from these Protestant evangelical sects. Now, again, I'm not here to criticize them. I'm here to downplay them. I'm not here to, I'm Christian. I'm not an atheist, but just to elucidate this point. So this guy, his services features a lot of healing, okay? People, you have examples that they have a healing service where people with cancer apparently get healed. There's a guy, with a mic in his hand. Again, I mentioned this in the last video, okay? People with cancer getting healed, okay? People with, serious ailments, okay? Even more trivial ones like backache and ear infections, whatever, right? The point is this: if that is happening consistently, it's a faith-based question, right? But the problem is this. The guy running the Christian congregation, whatever, right? He's a diabetic. Okay, I know that for a fact. Okay, he has some issues with blood sugar. In fact, I remember once during the prayer service, he mentioned that his blood sugar was going down because I'm guessing he's on insulin injections or whatnot. Okay, and these things push down your blood sugar. So he had to sort of take a break and then probably eat some candy, whatever. Are you guys with me here? Can you see the problem? Okay, you have a person, preaching, doing all these things in respect to his ministry. He clearly advances the idea of miraculous healing, that the prayer services, where people get healed. Okay, people who can't, have all kinds of problems, muscle aches, I mean, I'm not really sure about issues like autism and other, neurological disorders, which are more structural. But, the point is this, listener: if God can do those things, and critically, He's able to do that in a reliable way, okay, in a systematic way, which is to say that you go, you get healed. Okay, it's not something that happens, or it may not happen, or it could happen. No, you go, you get healed, and are we at that stage? Okay, because the deeper question is this: if that is the case, that means that will compel us to reevaluate everything else. Okay, again, an example I mentioned in the last video: a girl who wants to, become a medical student. What's the purpose of her life? If there's some guy preacher who can heal people, just like that. The question is this: okay, what kind of idea or perception are we supposed to have, or will we be compelled to adopt if we are being fed this kind of information? Okay, I guess with me now. This takes me back to the issue of the chosen. What is the chosen doing wrong? What is the negative implication, really, when it comes to how can the worldview that the chosen is advancing, the show, right? People, I mean, they're doing this sort of like they're trying to be fashionable. They're trying to be current, okay? They're doing all these reaction videos, people singing. They're trying to be hip. It's almost like the actors are trying to connect with their followers, the audiences, in a different way to make things more relevant, okay? That is fine, but the point is this: what is the show communicating? What is the message of the show, the core message? It is the Christian message, yes, but the deeper issue, okay, the more critical issue is its relevance, okay? Sure, Christ did these things 2,000 years ago, but there isn't a Jesus Christ today who can do those things on demand, okay? You guys with me here, okay? And nor can his apostles, okay, the followers of Christ, okay? They cannot perform miracles, they cannot heal, they cannot provide, okay? The good example is the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is an institution that's reliant on us, the laity. We have to fund these people. We have to subsidize their lifestyle. Heck, we have to guarantee their lifestyle, okay? They're not providing for us. They're not healing us. They're not blessing us, okay? In the case of Christ, there are examples, people come to him, he provides, he feeds them. Okay, the example of his apostles and the temple tax. He tells them to go catch a fish, and the fish has a talent. Okay, it's a lot of money. We don't have that. We don't have recourse to those kinds of solutions. Okay, we don't have those systems and frameworks within the Christian world. Okay, this goes back to the deeper issue here: the divide between what's fantasy or what's portrayed in media and what you find in the real world. Okay, the Chosen is a TV show. Okay, I mean, heck, the name itself, it's not the life of Christ, it's the Chosen. Okay, all right, folks, there's a lot going on here, but the key issue which I want to sort of summarize at the moment is that there's incongruity between the worldview that you and I have to adopt in a systematic, in a logical, rational world that you and I live in, versus this essential fantasy world of people getting healed. And I mean, it's difficult to accept that, isn't it? Because the message is, the reality that it represents is cloaked in the good news of love and brotherhood and fellowship and divinity of Christ, the sonship of Christ, the redemption message. It's very difficult to get past it, but the world that you and I live in, it does not correspond to that. The social order that you are a part of, you and I are a part of, doesn't conform to it, okay? So it's impossible for us to order our lives in accordance to it. You guys agree? This is not a question about faith. Faith in God, yes, but what does faith produce? Okay, I mean, it's a bit like saying, some guy goes to a preacher to get himself healed. He doesn't get healed, okay? Well, the fault is the person not having enough faith. But the problem is circular, is it not? So if he gets healed, he has faith. But if he doesn't get healed, he doesn't have faith. So there's no way around it. Even if he says, I have faith, but the guy will say, hey, you don't have enough faith. I guess now, I'm not here to attack people who are doing this, okay? I'm not here to say, these things don't happen. But the question is, how do we order our lives systematically, okay? Take the final example. Someone's trying to get a job. Okay, you're applying for a job, you want a job, whatever. You're not getting accepted. You're not getting offers. You're not getting interviews. You're not getting whatever, okay, feedback. Is prayer the right thing to do in that moment? Is praying to God going to address it? Now, again, yeah, praying does help. I pray, right, for the record. But the deeper issue is, what do you need to do, okay? What kind of steps do you need to take to alleviate that issue, okay? To find a resolution, to find an answer, okay? What do you need to do? What? Is praying alone enough? Okay, I mean, just as my last point, listener, okay, one of my favorite TV shows ever, okay, is 24. Okay, I love 24, right? I mean, I watched it growing up as a teenager. I think as I got into my teens, I started watching it, and it's a great show. I love it. Okay, I think to this date, if someone asks me what's my favorite TV show, period, of the series, it's ahead of Breaking Bad and even Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones last few seasons were terrible. But 24 is all about solving problems. Okay, because the stakes are so high. Okay, it's about national security. It's about safeguarding the nation. It's about saving lives. It's about protecting the innocent. Okay, and if you watch the show carefully, it's always about problem solving. Something happens, find a way. Some obstacle, find a way. Something's not right, something's not going away. Figure it out, find a way. Okay, get it done. Okay, come up with a solution. Look for an answer. Okay, think, innovate, iterate. Okay, envisage, act, initiate. Okay, make decisions. Okay, be creative. Okay, think out of the box. Adopt lateral thinking. Okay, be persuasive. Okay, be realistic. Okay, be honest. Okay, be tough. Be relentless. Be a stoic, essentially, right? In that world, you don't find people praying. Okay, I mean, people pray, I guess. I mean, there are moments when things are so desperate, all you can do is pray. See, that's different. Okay, that is a case of desperation when you have exhausted all alternatives. Okay, when you have nothing else to do, you have nowhere else to go, no one else to turn to. Okay, that's a unique problem. Okay, that's a extreme scenario. Okay, now paradoxically, 24 is very extreme because the stakes are so high, things are so bad. But the answer lies in human action, in human initiative, in the human mind. Now, where does God feature in this equation? I don't know. Okay, because God, I mean, if you look at it from a Hegelian perspective, certainly from the philosophy of mind, from God as an immanent being, I can get into the metaphysics, but that's not the aim of today's video. But the point I'm getting at, listen, when it comes to shows like The Chosen, the way they're portraying God, ultimately, right? Jesus Christ is, image of God, okay? He's the Son of God. That is not congruent with the world that you and I live in. It's not. In many ways, it's contradictory. Okay, deeper reading reveals that it is not aligned. Okay, and if you try to live according to that world, you're basically relying on magic. It's a bit like in Harry Potter. Someone breaks their leg or loses their limb, they can heal it and bring it back. That doesn't happen. We don't have the means to do it spiritually. Okay, technologically, possibly. Okay, in advances in medicine and so on. But we need to be realistic. We need to be grounded. We need to be honest. Okay. Ironically, it seems The Chosen, for me, it's not honest. It is dishonest. Not only the fact that it incorporates elements into the biblical narrative which are not there, by the way, I don't know where they get this from, but it is also sending the wrong message. Dare I say, a false one. All right, folks, this is A Christian Humanist. I'm Damien. Hope you like it. See you guys next time.